As the current generations free fall into decline and the world sinks to the bottommost levels of impurity without any sign of reprieve, righteous teachers become more and more of a rare commodity in this world. Possibly the least known of the Jewish sages that I've covered so far, but one of the heaviest hitters you will find, comes a man who will draw your complete unwavering attention. Focusing much of his teachings on Musar, that is ethical behavior, facing down subjects where few dare to tread, explaining them in simple yet detailed language, personifying the expression, they don't make them like they used to. This man became a trailblazer in the Musar movement, whose impact is still felt to this day, being completely unshackled by political correctness and fixated on truth and on truth alone. Join me as we learn about the life and teachings of one Rabbi Avigdor Miller. This time around, I thought I'd do something a little bit different and run a video segment of one of Rabbi Avigdor Miller's teachings. What you're about to see is the explanation of Hashem calling everything he created as good, and then Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon's conclusion that everything in the world is sheker, is falsehood, or is vain, in Ecclesiastes. From here, Rabbi Miller uses the example of secular music versus holy music. Now, this segment is particularly powerful for me, having a punk rock background. So here it is. Enjoy.
Everything in the world has sheker. Everything in the world is false. We'll see how that is. Everything is false. And everything in the world is true. The same things are both false and true. Now Shlomo HaMelech put his stamp upon the entire universe. He said, HaKol Hevel. It's all nothing. He belittled the whole creation. And I call it, well, put his stamp on the whole universe. And I came as called Asher also, and he told me, oh, it's very good. So you must say, there's no contradiction. The world is full of sheker. All of it. Everything. And everything is full of emes. A tremendous emes. And we'll take some examples. The general key to this puzzle is as follows. When certain things are being used just for themselves, it's hevel lori, music for instance. Music is mishugas. Just tickles your nerves, there's nothing to it. At Woodstock, there's a gathering, all the wicked youth, all the youth are wicked today, come together, hundreds of thousands of youth, and music makes them wild. Become wild, they try to kill each other. Every time there's a Woodstock music festival, the funerals are the result. When you see a bum wearing denims, jeans, with a big banjo or guitar on his back, walking the street proudly, music, the ideal of music. It's a bum showing off. That's why the music stores have sometimes signs outside. Man with a clarinet in one hand and the gun in another hand. What's the connection? A clarinet and a gun? Their idea of music is to go wild, be shooting. The Kusi already remarked that. In the Mishachar Beis HaMikdash, music fell in the hands of the low people. Once upon a time, however, music was music. And it was such a quality and such a purpose, when utilized properly, that people became elevated. It changed them. It transformed them. But sometimes we too, walking in the street, and somebody's playing music in the street, we feel a certain urge for something mysterious. We don't know for what. We're yearning for something. That's a sign that there's greatness that's being hinted to you. So there's greatness for you. The music can awaken that greatness in you if you know how to use it. Times of the Beis HaMikdash, when they came together, Simchas Beis HaSho'elu, hundreds of thousands of people came together and all singing together Shirei Kodesh. That experience would transform you. That experience once. How fortunate were those people who were present and saw this. When Hillel got up and danced, Hillel was dancing and music. Shalvi says, Yoina Hanovi began his career at a Simchas Beis HaSho'elu. He was so inspired with Ruach HaKodesh until he became a governor. And so, from true music utilized in Avodas Hashem, a person can make great progress. Music in itself, however, the Shlomo Melech said, HaKol Hebel. Nothing at all. A waste of time. All the music stores are stores where they dispense junk, garbage, nothing at all. Now, we have to be careful, however, when we use music, not to forget that there's a purpose to it. That's why sometimes, even on Simchas Torah, they're rejoicing with the Torah. People are dancing. You see, some people are carried away by the spirit of fun, music. They dance and sing, and they forget, that's Avodas Hashem. You never forget. It's for the purpose of serving Hashem that you're dancing. If you forget that, there's a big sakona that you're already a Woodstock man. You know, Simchas Torah, jumping up, excited, about what? So you'll give you an excuse. Yes, I'm about the Torah. Were you thinking about the Torah? No, not true. Also at weddings. They come to a wedding and they dance. Never forget for a moment you're dancing for Avodas Hashem. And keep that in mind all the time. Forget for a moment, then you know what you are. You're a music bum. The pictures be on the poster outside the music stores. That's one example. How something is sheka, and at the same time it could be emes true.
I first came across the teachings of Rabbi Avigdor Miller through the teachings of Rabbi Mizrahi, a very popular internet teacher, and he mentions this man quite frequently in his shiurim, and I wondered, Rabbi Mizrahi is pretty hardcore, so how much more the teachers that he is drawing from the past generations? So I picked up a copy of Rabbi Miller's commentary to Duties of the Mind, and I was not disappointed. In this work, he describes many things in the world that we would not give a second thought to, such as a bird or a piece of fruit. From these mundane things, he delves into their innermost core and takes you into a world of intricacy and great beauty that will have you looking at Hashem in a whole new light. Here is one example.
Suppose when you were eating an apple, you bit on something hard and you took out a silver dollar. Isn't that a queer accident? The truth is, an accident has taken place that's 1,000,000 times more remarkable. You find inside the apple one of these things. 3 specimens. Important and valuable. If I was weighing silver dollars, you wouldn't be sitting quietly. In this seed, you have coded on the DNA molecule all the plans how to produce an apple tree. Now, to produce an apple tree, you must have instructions that would fill 10,000 fat reference volumes. And it's all right here. It's unbelievable. But not only does this seed have 10,000 volumes of instructions, the seed possesses all the factories and laboratories. And everything is here for the grand purpose of opening up our eyes to recognize a great designer. Masterpiece. Looks almost natural.
Avigdor Hakon Miller was born on August 28, 1908 in Baltimore, Maryland. Unbelievably, he attended a public school but went home every afternoon to learn Torah, learning privately with Avraham Eliyahu Axelrod, a Lubavitcher Chassid. Unable to pay his teacher, Rabbi Axelrod continued to teach Miller anyway. Rav Miller would never forget this act of kindness, speaking about him regularly with great affection and appreciation. His views on the Torah were taken by many as being extreme right-wing, which invigorated this stance in the political outlook among many American Orthodox Jews. This certainly wasn't his agenda, but as society degenerates, his teachings become even more foreign to the majority of mankind. Here is a sobering extract on his teaching on premarital relations.
Can one have premarital relations? Now, I'm reading this for a purpose. With a girl who goes to the mikveh, and so on. Well, I'm saying it for a purpose. Because there was a certain fellow, I don't want to say who was incautious, and he said something that could be interpreted in 2 ways. Premarital relations is an abomination and a crime. It's important to know it's a crime. And anybody who indulges in that is going to incur a severe penalty. Now, if the person with whom he's having relations is needed, then it's chorus in addition. But otherwise, he's going to get plenty of penalties. He's going to bleed from his genitals. He's going to have trouble with letting water, meter connected meter. The man is going to suffer no end. You won't get away with it. There's going to be Gehenna in this world for premarital relations. And it's important for people to understand that any kind of immorality, znus, even if it's so called with a tefillah, with kasha, there's no such thing as kasha znus. And the Gemara tells us how great is the einish for that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu hates zimo, he hates immorality, and he hates such people. And when HaKadosh Baruch Hu hates somebody, then that person is in trouble.
Rabbi Miller authored several books about Jewish history. Over the span of 50 years, more than 2,500 lectures by Miller in English were published as cassette tapes, as well as several in Yiddish. He gave most of his lectures in his Midwood synagogue, while also covering Torah-orientated concepts that might have been heard in many typical Orthodox lectures. Miller regularly delivered his own unique take on political and social themes. Miller believed that all Americans, including African Americans, have a right to equality. He stressed that it needs to be done peacefully and through legal means. Believe it or not, Rav Miller was a supporter of police brutality against criminals. Before the 1976 elections, he said, "We need more police brutality, and although innocent people might suffer, sometimes it pays." After the Kent State shootings, where 3 Jewish and 1 non-Jewish student were shot by the Ohio National Guard at an anti-Vietnam protest, Miller stated that he sent a letter of congratulations to the government, saying in America, these liberal bums were ruining the campuses. They were bums and they deserve to be shot. No question about it. End of quote. Miller was outspoken in his belief that the Holocaust was a divine response to Jewish cultural assimilation in Europe. He wrote, "Hitler was not only sent by heaven, but was sent as a kindness from heaven because assimilation and intermarriage were worse than death. And the German Jews and others ignored the Torah teachers and refused to desist from their mad race into assimilation. The Nazis were sent to prevent them and rescue them before they were swallowed up by the nations." This last comment won Rav Miller much criticism. But if one thinks about it carefully, you can see that he is absolutely right. While he wasn't condoning what the Nazis did by any means, he was simply illustrating that assimilation and the extinction of Jewish Orthodox observance by Jews would have been far worse for the world than the Holocaust. Essentially, he was about teaching people that Hashem means business, and this man came to revitalize a fear of Hashem, which is almost totally extinguished today. Thank you for watching, and bye for now. Hey there, before you go, if YouTube normally isn't your thing, you can check out the content of this channel also on Rumble, a new video platform for the more conservative viewer. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.